Welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. My name is Chris. I am here with Brian
What's going on?
and Jake.
Hey guys.
Hoopo Games has blessed us, guys. We have the second major update for Risk of Rain 2 Early Access. We're going to be talking all about the Skills 2.0 update and what an update it is. We have new characters, new stages, new bosses, new elite enemies, new items. We got it all. Most importantly, new skills. But before we get into all the nitty gritty, guys, we are less than 50 subs away from 1,000 subs. We would super much appreciate your support. Once we hit 1,000 subs, we are giving away a copy of Conan Exiles. But for today, because we hit that 950, there's going to be a Steam code in the description of this video. It's first come, first serve. All you got to do is pick it up. So, yeah, the game will be in the description with the code. So, good luck. But, guys, Risk of Rain 2, Skills 2.0, here we go. I think last time we did this for Score Shakers, we just kind of went through everything. Maybe let's start with the new survivor.
Loader.
Punch lady.
Loader, yes. And we will have a unlock guide coming out very shortly for Loader. But, what do we think about Loader?
She is so fun.
I love Loader.
Interesting. I mean, like, I don't really... I like more of the shooting kind of play style. But, like, I don't like the sword guy either. But, you know, the punch lady is more fun than the sword guy. I'll give him that.
Yeah, they're similar because they're both melee characters. So Loader's left click is a punch. Her right click is a grapple that lets you just grapple around the map. Her shift is a charge up punch that will send you a certain distance and does a shit ton of damage. I think the max was 2700% damage at full charge.
And you can go through, it's not a one hit, you can go through enemies. Keep hitting them.
Yeah, and then you can throw out like a pylon that floats that will zap enemies nearby every second or something like that. So
Super fun.
The grapple's so much fun.
Super
fun.
fun.
Oh my god, it's so much fun.
Honestly, my biggest complaint about all the characters so far is there's no like there's like technical movement, but there's no like advanced movement, and this character has advanced movement. Like Jake and I were talking, like the prismatic trials are going to be insane now.
Yeah, and it seems like with every update they have a focus. So Loader was an old character, and unfortunately I didn't play enough of Risk of Rain 1 to know what her abilities were in the original. But it looks like, I mean, obviously Loader is focused on movement because you can grapple around the map, and we quickly figured out that a couple backup mags means you can pretty much grapple forever across the map, and it's a ton of fun. And Rex was obviously all about healing and health management, so there seems to be some focus on like a theme of every character coming out.
They're doing a really good job keeping every character very distinct.
Well, they do a good job balancing it, too.
That's also true.
Like, if you think of it, I've never played Rex because he just doesn't appeal to me. Like, I haven't even unlocked him. But, like, they're either really, like, well-balanced to an exceptional point, like the Commando, and I would argue kind of the Robot, because, like, the Robot really doesn't have anything going on, like, other than the fact that he can hold two equipment. Or they're completely dependent on you learning one or two features of the character, and like if you can make it work, like it's really dependent on your skill. It's not like, and I maybe that is kind of like the antithesis of being balanced, but like there's a lot of room for like people that don't want to develop that type of dedicated skill, and for people that do.
Yeah. No, I think all the characters are definitely... I think the engineer, like, is the easiest beginning, but, like, engineer
it's hard to learn how to be really good at.
Yeah, that and the engineer starts to suffer in, like, in monsoon difficulty, in my opinion. But, yeah, I mean, we're going to be doing a tier list, which is yet another reason to subscribe to this channel, because we got tons of Risk of Rain 2 content coming. But like even that tier list, I mean, I say every time, like they're all pretty bad. Like it's not like the bottom tier characters is unplayable. They're all playable, and the top tier the top tier character can't just run away with it every time.
Yeah, like it's not like, it's a really interesting addition, but it's not like a game changer. Or maybe it is, but like it's not completely like destroying the foundations of
Yeah.
character selection and all that. Like it's still a balanced overall situation.
Right. And I think that Loader has probably the highest skill ceiling at the moment.
I agree.
Up to this point, it was Rex, but even that was straightforward. Like, just get all the healing items you can, and then you do a ton of damage. Whereas Loader's, she feels a lot like Artificer in the fact that once you dump all your damage, which is essentially your shift, and that's it, you have nothing to do until your shift comes back up. And Loader has a lot less to dish out than Artificer, but also Mercenary. He's also melee, but he pretty much always has an ability to use. The cooldowns are very quick, and you can time it out pretty much perfectly to always be doing something. So Loaders, it seems like there's going to be a lot of learning to do with how to manage your skill usage and how to get moving as fast as possible to deal the most damage with your charged gauntlet, which does significantly more damage the faster you are moving, according to the skill description.
Yeah. Well, I think we're good with the added Survivor Loader. Let's talk about the added stage Siren's Call. You need to play this stage to unlock Loader. I like this stage way more than Scorched Acres, even though we only played it once. Like, I already know that.
Yeah. It's so much easier to look around.
The circular thing's really kind of a pain in the ass too on Scorched Acres, because you get on the wrong side of the thing and you
gotta walk around this
like
spiral,
you can't jump. Yeah, you have to walk all the way around the thing, and it's like, oh, let's hit it, and the teleport is halfway fucking done by the time you get up there.
And I was actually noticing with Loader, those circles, like if you try to grab the edge of those circles, you can get like caught in like the geometry a fair bit.
I ended up on walking on a little tiny ledge on the side a couple of times, and it was like, all right, well, I hope I can find a wall or something that I can jump up and grapple on.
But yes, Siren's Call is pretty sick. IMO.
It looks really nice, and it's like the open plains level. It's very open like that, but it's like they added in a bunch of stuff. So it's big and open, but there's enough going on that it seems interesting. It's different. Whereas I would agree, Scorched Acres, not really a great level. And if you don't have any movement like Huntress, then you're absolutely effed on that map.
And they have new flying enemies that I actually...
Yeah, those are interesting.
I like them more. Yeah. I think, the lesser imps don't bother me. There's just a lot of them. But it's like a nice in-between like the lesser imps and the greater imps, basically. It's also refreshing to not have to go to shoot. I'm lost on what level 4 is normally called. I'm sorry. The lava world. Oh my god.
Yeah,
with all the...
It's escaping me. But it's nice that you don't have to go there now. Like, there is an alternative, and at this point, all 4 stages have one alternative.
Right. So the new enemies that came out are Alloy Warship Unit. Sorry, that's the boss. The Alloy Vulture is the new flying unit that you were talking about, which is a vulture. And the Soulless Probe, which is like a circle floating eye unit. Those are both flying units that they added in, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And then there's the big guy was the Alloy Warship, and he's got the recharging shield, and he's got some attack that's like, it's like blue pillars.
Yeah, so to unlock Loader, you have to fight the Alloy Warship unit, which is just a bigger version of the Soulless Probe with more abilities. And he's definitely hard. I did find out that you can stand on top of him and pretty much avoid everything, which is nice, but he's hard.
Yeah, still, I was totally cool with him. Fun though.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
And you get a red item from it, the vulture wings.
Wake of Vultures.
Wake of Vultures, yeah. Which is so like even after you unlock Loader, there is incentive to like fight him, basically.
Yeah,
because,
that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what I was gonna say is like, you know how they have the model where you have to do a certain thing in the game before like the item will spawn. I mean, I guess that's kind of inherent to roguelikes, but it works well for this. You know, it keeps it interesting. It gives you a reason to keep trying to do something different.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and this is it's kind of shades of the same thing.
I mean, this is like sorry, go ahead.
Unlike the tar level where you have to do pressure plates to get those two guys to spawn, and you only get two bands out of it. This one you have to do a couple of specific steps, which you can check out in the guide that Chris is going to do. But then you consistently get 4 Wake of Vultures, or however many people you have in the game, you get a Wake of Vulture for everyone. So that's nice.
It's going to be the equivalent of
2 bosses.
Yeah, you have to fight 2 bosses. It is going to be the equivalent of getting the legendary chest, though. Like, that's what it's replacing.
Well, there is a legendary chest on that level. I did see it before we went and fought the boss. But I think Wake of Vultures is probably going to always be the item. It seems very fitting for a level filled with vultures.
They look like turkeys to me, but that's just my 2 cents.
Oh, turkey.
All right,
the wake of turkeys.
Let's move on to the next thing down in the patch notes, which are the alternate skills and the skills variants. I mean, for the we obviously have not played enough to unlock every we have not unlocked everything, but just like reading up on it, basically there's 2 to 3 challenges per character. Each challenge will unlock either a skill or a skin or both for each character, and you're going to be able to use those skills in a loadout selection. So for example, the engineer will not be restricted to those mines for the right click. There is alternatives to that now, and there will be different skins. I mean, for me, this is like, just looking at this one, it's just insane that there's just new skills across the board for everyone. That's just going to add so much. But 2, there's like reasons to play the game as every character, and beat the game on Monsoon with every character, which is really nice. It's just like a nice incentive besides like self-set goals, because this will take a while to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It'll take a long time, and it's nice that you get the variety. So when they were originally talking about this update, they said they wanted to let everyone kind of find a playstyle they really like to do, which I guess goes along with having alternate skills. The one thing I am disappointed about is there's no progression there. I would have liked to see some sort of like leveling up or something like that. You know, the classic like outside the meta progression that pretty much every roguelike in the world has. I would have liked to see that with these skills.
I'm happy with skins on it. Like, skins are sick. If this was just skins, I would be happy. Like,
I like the skins. I agree. I think there's a lack of meta progression in Risk of Rain. I think this was a good opportunity to put that in. I like what they did, and I'm hoping they kind of bring in some more progression into the skills. But this is early access, so there's still opportunity for that.
yeah.
Well, and at the same time, like the ceilings on those tasks are high enough that it's not going to be something that you really have to worry about the first few times that you play the game. Like, you get a chance. It's not like you're immediately, oh, which one do I pick? Like, I'm still kind of feeling out how this character plays, and now I have another change thrown into the mix. And I've found that problematic with a lot of games that have this sort of like tailor the performance of your character or your vehicle or whatever to your play style with all these modifications. Like, if they get thrown at you all at once, it doesn't, it's just confusing. This seems like it gives you a chance to actually get into the game and figure out how it works and what you like before you start going for this stuff.
And I mean, we still, like, we all have 100 hours-ish in this game, at least, I would say. Some maybe a little less, some maybe a little more. And we still have trouble beating it on hard. And, like, side note, apparently there was some, like, healing bonus, like, Brian, 250% for that.
Yeah, so it was the way I see it, it was supposed to be like a multiplier that scales with difficulty. So like on easy you were supposed to get 250, and I'm assuming at higher difficulties you were supposed to get less. And in the patch notes they mentioned that they had that 250% bonus on all skill levels. So like your healing's gonna go way down.
So like people who play this game for 100 hours,
it's changed a lot.
It's
that little note has changed a lot.
But we still have issues beating it on hard, which if you want to unlock everything, you're gonna have to do with every character. There's a lot. This added a lot of incentive to play a lot of Risk of Rain 2.
And like Brian said, these challenges are not easy. We haven't done pretty much any of them, but I've read all of them. They are pretty hard. There's some easy ones in there, but they're tough.
All right. Well, I want to quickly touch on the new elite, just real quick, because Malachites were kind of a big deal lately. We made a guide on how to beat them. That's how big of a deal they are. And there's a new elite called a Celestine, which are high-tier elites that spawn late in the game, similarly to Malachites. And it's just good. So now I kind of like this because it's not just Malachites now. Now there's going to be a blend of two like ultra elites that you're going to have to deal with. It's going to make beating it on hard even harder, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. So they don't say if they have unique abilities like the Malachites, but I'm assuming there will be some, not gimmick, but some unique ability they have as well.
Yeah, the fact that there's sound effects to usher them in makes me think they definitely will.
Right. And while we're on the elite enemies, they're in the minor miscellaneous updates. The Malachites did get nerfed a bit, so their health bonus percentage went down from 2,820% to 2,350%.
Hell yeah.
They were
you're gonna notice that.
Yeah, I mean that's a 500% decrease.
Well,
so that's good.
The inverse of that buff is the guillotines are now green level items. So
yeah, they should have been there the whole time.
Yeah, but now like that kind of balances that basically.
Right.
So we've played with a decent number of the new enemies. The two that I just want to highlight, if you guys have any to highlight, just shout them out. Two I want to highlight are Focus Crystal. Focus Crystal does more damage to enemies closer to you, so obviously that synergizes perfectly with Loader. And the next is Volcanic Egg, which is, I don't think you guys have seen that yet, but it's an equipment and you get to fly around as like a spirit of flames and then self-destruct yourself, but not die, you just blow up. It's neat.
That sounds amazing.
It's fun, yeah.
Well, and it seems like in terms of the newt shop there or whatever, they've changed. Like it seems like there's items in there that didn't spawn as much, but that are spawning more now. Like the tonic there that you got, and the meteors. Like those weren't mentioned in the patch notes, but those hadn't. They'd presumably been in the game, but they just hadn't been showing up as often. So, like that adds a little bit more. You know, even just changing those ratios kind of adds a little bit more interest to it.
Right. I also played with the Lepton Daisy, which will give you a burst of healing during the boss phase after you hit the teleporter. I have to say, I didn't really notice the burst of healing at all. I don't know if you guys did. So
I didn't know. I was too busy with the meteors.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, so
Brian made sure that there was a lot going on.
Well, 3 meteors at once will do that. Like it killed me, but I had 4 health left, so I was gonna die anyway.
So I don't know. It might be good. I'll have to play with it more, but so far not super excited about that one. And it is a green item, so yeah.
So the last 2 questions I have are one, like, is there anything in like the miscellaneous stuff that you guys want to highlight? And two, what do you want to see going forward? We have a few more updates left before 1.0, but if there's anything, we kind of know what's going to happen, right? We're going to get a new character, a new stage. Eventually, we're going to get those artifacts. But if there's anything else you just want to highlight, just throw it out. I think the only thing in like the miscellaneous I want to highlight is you now, if you can spawn the bazaar, what's it called? The bazaar?
Bizarre between
The blue,
time or something like
if
that.
you can spawn the blue portal, basically, then you can choose which stage you're going to next. Now that every stage has 2 variants, you can pick which variant you want, and I like that a lot. But that's all I have for the miscellaneous. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
Yeah. So for item highlights, they made a lot of item updates, and specifically the updates to Topaz Brooch, which they nerfed a little bit down to 15% per stack, and they upped ages. I like those. A lot of the other stuff is quality of life changes, which is fantastic.
The pinging got updated.
The pinging is amazing. The drones now, you can purchase them back after they die, which is good. And there's another really big one that I...
boss spawning? Was that it?
Yeah, but now I'm totally blanking on what it was.
Well, boss spawning now, yeah, they say they fixed it so bosses aren't gonna like spawn in just stupid spots.
Yeah.
They're not like specific. I think they highlighted specifically like behind a wall. Like they're gonna not do that, hopefully.
Right, and
Or,
we
like,
were
a
really
cave.
noticing that on the level 4 lava level, where you would constantly have the teleporter in the cave, and like the imps would spawn on the other side of the map, and we had to wait for a minute, 50% of the charging time, and before you even get in range for us.
I noticed the imp was also like just would always spawn outside of the teleporter circle and then have to warp itself in.
Yeah, so I'm glad they fixed that. That's big. It's a big high five. Hoo-poo.
And the I believe the UI director has been tweaked a bit.
Yeah, so the
Not the UI, the AI.
But
yeah, the AI director, so it's more aggressive, is what they said.
More aggressive. Just what we need.
More aggressive, so be prepared.
Any miscellaneous stuff you have, Brian?
The one little thing, and I think Jake pointed this out when we were playing, that like they added in the it tells you how much when you ping something. So if you ping a chest, it tells you how much it is, or if you ping a shrine, it tells you how much it is. And it's a little thing, but it helps. But other than that, I agree with you guys.
All right. Well, last question. What, if anything, do we want to see happen in addition to the stuff that we already know is going to happen? I have 2 things. One is the seeds. Like, I wish we could input a seed. Almost every roguelike lets you put a seed in, so you can share it on subreddits, or you can share it with friends. You can say, hey, there was this really fun seed that I played where I got, X, Y, and Z. It was all red items, or, just like fun ways to fuck with the game. And I assume they're waiting for 1.0 because that would be my guess that the seeding thing is changing rather drastically between updates, so it would be weird to share seeds. That's a guess. The second is I still really want Prismatic Trials multiplayer. I don't know why we don't have it, but I would love it. And that's all for me.
Yeah, I already mentioned this, but I'd like to see more progression on the skills and some more meta overworld progression in Risk of Rain in general. It's kind of a staple of almost all roguelites that you have progression outside of the kind of core game loop that lets you get better and better. So I'd like to see that added in, and hopefully that comes in Skills 3.0, if that ever happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of only thinking about the skills or the abilities or whatever. It seems to me like a lot of this stuff is, unless you're exceptionally good at this, you're gonna want to do it in multiplayer. So I'd like to see something that expands a little bit on that. Maybe like a skill that you can only unlock when you're playing with 3 or 4 people, or something like that. It seems like this is kind of a divergence from the first game where there was really no official multiplayer support to something that you really want to play with your friends. So I'd like to see a little bit more embracing of that. But otherwise, this is very good especially for a team of what, like
3
less than 10 people.
3 people.
Yeah.
3 people.
Good job, guys. And
Good job,
I also, by the way, Chris, I like the new track on the new map. I thought it was very chill.
Hell yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Nice
Good
job,
job,
Chris.
Not you, Chris. The
I
other
know,
Chris.
I know. What if I
Good
am
Chris.
Chris? Alright, I think we're good then. This was pretty much everything and our thoughts on Risk of Rain 2 Skills 2.0. There will be more. We have a Risk of Rain 2 playlist you can check out now. But like we said, we're going to have the 2 extra videos, the loader unlock guide and the tier list reasonably soon, probably within a week. But until then, what should our listeners do, Brian?
Well, if you're just fresh through your last experience of punching your way through a Shrine of Combat with the loader, go ahead and let us know how that went for you down in the word box there. And like Chris said at the beginning of the video, not only did we drop a code in the section there, which is probably gone by this point, which is kind of a meta benefit of subscribing to Cohesive Friendship Unit, because you'll know that we do shit like this. And then you'll be the first one to watch and you'll get that Steam code. But if you didn't get that Steam code, we are giving away a copy of
Conan Exiles.
Conan Textiles.
You're right. It is Textiles.
Okay, yeah, Conan Textiles. So if you wanna weave some shit, go ahead and throw us a sub, and you might get automatically entered into a chance to win that game there, and you'll for free get all of the lovely content that we do put out here on this channel. Because if you watch this far in the video, you probably liked it, and smoke them if you got them, guys. That's all for me tonight, Chris.
Thank you, Brian. We will catch you guys next time.